before the game, that emotional tribute for Michigan State. I guess, just do you have anything to say about what happened earlier?
Oh, it's very classy of University of Michigan to really show how much that we as a community care about the Michigan State community during such a tragic loss of those young men and young women. Also to those who are fighting to get healthy, but there were others that got shot during that time. So I was looking over at Coach Izzo and seeing how emotional he got during he left every voice and sing. I started to get a little emotional myself because I understand that it really hit close to home for him and to some of his players. So I agree with them this weekend as far as playing the game. It does help get to a little normalcy, try to take their mind off of what they suffered this week. But overall, I really admire how our players, was very considerate and kind. As you can see with the shirts that we wore, they showed, and also the flags, the Michigan State flag, as well as their school song. I think that was really, really big and it doesn't surprise me how people here at the University of Michigan has a big heart and really cares about others.
Paul?
Hey, Juwan. For the game today, Doug McDaniel started off 7 points and ended up with a team-high 18. What do you see out of him today to help lead you guys to the win?
Well, from start to finish, and I'll start with the beginning of the game. Doug was, with his energy on the defensive end and then offensively, he made some tough shots, but he also allowed the game to come to him. And not saying he hasn't before, but when he set the tone the way he did, the guys really rallied behind Doug. And then you got a lot of energy from our bench, guys like Terrence Reed Jr. as well as Joey Baker, Jace Howard. Those guys are really dialed in to competing.
Tom?
Juwan, 38-25 rebounding advantage. I asked Kobe this question. I'm going to ask you: what kind of conscious effort was there in rebounding after the Wisconsin game when they had much more offensive rebounds than you did in these past couple of practices?
Yeah, there's been a point of emphasis about how we gave up 14 offensive rebounds to Wisconsin. That should never happen. Nothing against and not saying Wisconsin not capable because they showed that, but it was based on they wanted it more than we did. Even though defensively, we worked so hard on the defensive end, and then for them shooting 33% from the field and still giving them 14 extra possessions, it's tough to win ball games like that on the road. Tonight, we made the conscious effort of being, the toughest, the nastiest, the grittiest, by going to the glass, by attacking the paint, by getting fouled and going to the foul line. I give a lot of credit to our young men as far as how in tune they were from the first day of practice when we returned from Wisconsin. And when you practice the way how we were so locked in these last couple of days, you're going to get results like that in the ball game.
John?
Or Andrew, sorry. Juwan, a lot of the players were asked about how you guys finished this game, compared to some previous games. Did you notice anything different about the execution late?
Well, I talked about it at the timeout. I think, and I'm not quite sure what the clock was, but I think Michigan State may have been up by 3, and talked about, hey, it's not a time where you have to play a perfect game, be afraid to make a mistake, because the game is in basketball. You're going to make some mistakes, but how we eliminate the mistakes is by making the simple plays, and then on the defensive end, we have to be tuned in to what our defensive coverages are, being tuned in and keeping guys in front, and then also limiting them to one-shot opportunities. And with that, we just took off another level. I wanted to make sure that I calmed their voice, but calmed their mind on understanding that whatever happens in the past, you grow from it, and let's move forward.
You mentioned Terrace. Him and Hunter had a lot of big plays down the stretch.
Well, it was something that I've seen throughout the season when I first played with the big lineup. Terrace is, he's scratching the surface. And with his defensive intensity, able to, of course, keep smaller guards in front, which is hard to do at that size. But he's just so dialed into, giving life to the group, whether it's if he does get beat off the dribble, able to recover and meet a guy at the rim, whether it's a block shot, or he's seeing one of his teammates having a mismatch opportunity and the guy getting bagged down on a low block, coming over and help side and blocking the shot. Being active on the glass, and whether it's going to get it in a crowded space or getting it over top where a smaller guy is trying to box out a bigger guy. But then also on the offensive end, he was aggressive, being able to take advantage of how the defender was playing him, attacking the paint, and then also getting up to the free throw line and being confident and being relaxed. And he makes big free throws, and I see the confidence is it's increasing. He's getting better. Sometimes we all expect freshmen to be able to play well every time, all the time, but it takes time to grow with this game, and I'm just so proud of them. It's the McDaniels family. Yes, I had to look again. I'm like, hold on. That's my peoples. Yes. That's family right there.
John?
Hey, Juwan, more on Terrace, I guess. What, you had him out there to close this game, I guess. What can that do conference-wise going forward?
Well, I mean, this is not the first game I've had him out there to close games, but yes, versus a very good team in Michigan State, and Big Ten, playing a game at home, and you have a great home crowd. Yeah, and that's one thing too. I do not want to not mention while I'm here is it was awesome to see the Chrysler rocking the way it was tonight, the energy that came from the home crowd, and then also to see some of our alumni that was able to be present. Got a chance to see Eli Brooks and Franz Wagner, Shandi Brown Jr., some of the managers. I saw Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. It was nice to see those familiar faces, man, that I hadn't seen in a while. That brotherhood here at the University of Michigan is something that we will continue to keep growing, and making sure that everyone knows who put a Michigan uniform, but they always welcome to be a part and come out and see this. Their younger brothers compete out there on the floor. But knowing that your question that you asked, and I know I went off on a little tangent because I'm just excited. I know this is the time when I was playing in the NBA, and I couldn't come because I was so busy, whether it was All-Star break or it was just the NBA season, the schedules did not work out, and I always wanted to be here. And then I was coaching, I always wanted to come back for one of the home games and never got the opportunity. So I've always, open arm welcomed all our guys who have put on the Michigan uniform to please come and come support these young Wolverines, because these young Wolverines really enjoy seeing them. Now, what's your question again?
Terrace, he was out there to close it. What can that do for him going forward?
It could be a huge confidence booster for him, but this is not the first game I left him out there, where the big lineup with Terrace and Hunter, they have grown a lot together, and they now get more and more comfortable playing with one another.
When you see you guys score 51 in the second half, and the help defense also on the interior late in the half, especially cutting off the interior valves. I mean, is that what this team can be capable of, and how can you repeat that performance, I guess, in the future games?
Well, defensively, with the big lineup, we got stops when we needed down the stretch. Scoring 51 points, and as you all know, and it's been documented that Michigan State is one of the better defensive teams in our league, and that's pretty impressive. But it shows the level of toughness. It also shows that how we practiced this week. that, you know, we had a really good carryover. So we're gonna enjoy this victory tonight. We'll be back in the gym on Monday, and roll up our sleeves and try to get better, day by day.
Juwan, with obviously everything that happened this week when it came game time, did you wonder how your players would respond to the strange environment and also, you know, a heated rival type game? And were you pleased with the way they?
You know, Michigan State and Michigan, once that ball goes up for jump ball, you know, it's about the game, and that's how you saw, you know, Michigan State. I mean, look at it in the first half; they were winning 36-33. They made huge runs. They wasn't thinking about anything that happened this week. They were so dialed into, you know, competing out there on the floor and trying to get this victory. And that's the same mindset that our guys had too once the jump ball started.
Any update on Jet, by the way?
I haven't heard anything yet. Just praying. We need him, but we also need a healthy Jet. But one thing about Jet, man, he's a tough kid. He really is. I would never forget when we were in London. You know, he wasn't supposed to play versus Kentucky, and he was going to make me play him. And that shows you how much he's passionate about this game and love the game, and you know, he's also, like I mentioned, tough. Then we played. Who was it? We didn't play. He couldn't play in the Purdue game, but he begged me to play, and he wasn't ready. And then he rushed back and played his second game. Whoever we played after Purdue, I forgot. But you know, we're gonna look at it and see. We're gonna get treatment tonight. You know, he's gonna treat it 24/7 like he always does, and that's the only thing I can give you right now.
Got time for a couple more, Paul?
About a minute 30 left, game tied. Kobe kind of bobbles in the air and hits a heavily contested shot in front of your bench. How's he able to make plays like that?
I said will. That's called will, and not Will Shutter. I'm talking about just having the will, you know, to go out there and make a play when we need it. And yes, you're right. He made a three that was right there in front of our bench, and you know, as he was shooting it, I'm like, please go in. The basketball gods answered.
What went through your mind when you saw the Chrysler Center in green?
I didn't pay attention to all that. I saw maize and blue. But I saw the Michigan State flag, and that was because of Mage Rage being so dialed in and tuned to, you know, showing the Michigan State community how much we support them. And like I said earlier, you know, I heard the song, Michigan State's fight song. So I wasn't paying attention to all that. If I was paying attention to all that, I need to be dialed in and watching my team. Hey, y'all have a good night.